In media-saturated cultures, it's easy to focus on the statements or affairs of those who often appear on screens, on records, and on the radio. And thus, one might feel that when discussing the losses experienced by film stars in the terrible Los Angeles area fires, one might be neglecting many of those whose names aren't as well known. But the tragedies visited upon numerous of those celebrities are emblematic of the troubles experienced by thousands of others. And in many cases, their hopefulness, their gratitude to be alive, and concern for others also is emblematic and helps encourage others. Such is the case with actor Mel Gibson, who, while in Texas for an interview with Joe Rogan, suffered the loss of his Malibu home to the vast, fast, uncontrolled, and deadly wildfires. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. You know, in conversation about his loss, Mr. Gibson told News Nation that the loss of the material objects wasn't important and that these are only things. And he stressed the safety of his family and neighbors. He brought levity in noting that his chickens survived and didn't become roast chickens.
Gosh, I was in Austin. I was doing the Rogan podcast, you know, and I was kind of ill at ease while we were talking because I knew my neighborhood was on fire. So I thought, I wonder if my place is still there. But when I got home, sure enough, it wasn't there. I went home and I said to myself, well, at least I haven't got any of those pesky plumbing problems anymore.
When did you drive up? Did you take this video that we're looking at?
Yeah, I was taking some of it. Rose took some, and the chickens survived. It was amazing.
That is.
The chickens poop, and they were fine. So we gave them some grain and some water, and they're happy and laying eggs and stuff. So there you go. They weren't roast chickens.
And subsequently, Mr. Gibson offered additional key words when he remarked about the governmental misconduct and maladministration that paved the way for the tragedy and made the situation worse, focusing his criticism on the egocentric, self-promoting, responsibility-dodging Gavin Newsom. When asked on January 10th by Fox News' Laura Ingraham if he had a message for Governor Newsom or LA Mayor Karen Bass, Gibson thought for a moment before, in his inimitable low-key fashion, offered, "Spend less on hair gel."
Any message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, what can I say to them? Not big admirer of either, but there you go.
And as he did with the earlier observations about his home, Mr. Gibson seems to have hit a resonant chord with many of those people who are suffering, who are focusing on the immediate dangers and fears of neighbors, but who also reserve intellectual space for and critical awareness of the government role in setting up this horrific disaster and making it worse. Currently, civilian investigators are uncovering numerous acts of mismanagement, ranging from the fact that, as I recently noted for MRC-TV, in his first term as president, Donald Trump moved to redirect millions of gallons of California water from going into the sea, and Newsom sued to stop the action. Then to the fact that, as reporter Michael Schellenberger explains, the Palisades Reservoir was emptied by the government that already had used tax money to build it. Investigators also are noting the bald-facedly sick fact that the LA Fire Department suffers from a lack of firemen, in part because the government mandated the mRNA jabs as a condition of continued employment, and the fact that the now former fire chief Kristen M. Crowley pushed unrealistic diversity policies that reduced the on-hand physical ability of firefighting teams to perform dangerous life-saving tasks, even as it discouraged qualified males from trying to join the team. And hey, don't worry about Janice Quinones, the LA head of water resources, being focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion while raking in $750,000 a year?
It's important to me that everything we do, it's with an equity lens and social justice and making sure that we right the wrongs that we've done in the past.
There's plenty more to see, and the Daily Caller's Ariane Venata covers some key facets of the LA city waste. Quote, Los Angeles allocated $100,000 to the Civil Plus Human Rights and Equity Department for a midnight stroll transgender cafe, according to its 2024 to 2025 budget. The funding's purpose is to support a safe haven for unsheltered transgender individuals in Hollywood, the document noted. End quote. Safety. As LA and surrounding cities burn, that seems to be in low supply right now. Quote, similarly, the Cultural Affairs Department's special appropriation budget allocated $100,000 for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP awards. End quote. That's an award ceremony. Why should taxpayers be forced to pay for it? Oh, and then there's the magic with the K and Queer LA spending. Quote, the budget also appropriated $8,670 for the One Institute, the International Gay and Lesbian Archives. The One Archives at the University of Southern California USC Libraries currently has an exhibit titled Sci-Fi Magic Queer LA, Sexual Science and the Imagination, which focuses on the occult and the LGBTQ movement, end quote. Oh yes, and then there's the aforementioned chorus. Quote, the budget also allocated $13,000 for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender Heritage Month programs, and $14,010 to the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles, end quote. How about not forcing anyone to pay for any chorus? And there's the seemingly ubiquitous need to virtue signal on race using tax cash, of course. Hence, the mayor made sure these got funds. Quote, Los Angeles's African American History Month, American Indian Heritage Month, Latino Heritage Month, and Asian American History Month programs were each allocated $13,000. The budget also appropriated $170,000 in total for social justice art worker investments. End quote. Right. Now, the point here isn't that some or all of these endeavors are ill-conceived or unworthy of support. The point also isn't to claim some kind of omniscience as to how much of a budget for firefighting is sufficient. The point is to recognize that the long inculcated idea that government should handle things like water, energy, and even firefighting is misguided. It's immoral and creates a constant battle of disparate interests and values. Collectivism always presents these problems, pitting interest against interest, neighbor against neighbor, in a never-ending struggle for political control in order to shape the world the way the various interests want it shaped. Only private property can address the problems the way people want them addressed, and do so in a competitive way that sees those offering services deliver better work for less. Government monopolies and taxation stop people from deciding what takes precedence for their own lives. Government control suppresses the recognition of real hazards and costs. But after acknowledging how poorly the collectivist LA system has operated, perhaps more earnest people will begin focusing on dismantling larger portions of that centralized bureaucracy. This is just one of the big projects the survivors of the LA fires will have to handle as they try to rebuild their lives, their homes, and their businesses. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on Rumble and share from Rumble if you can. Of course, they don't censor us at Rumble. You can find us on YouTube, where they do engage in censorship. Also, find the whole team at mrctv.org. That's mrctv.org. Check out the store over there. Please consider donating to the Media Research Center. Find us on Facebook. The Facebook group is always jumping. Instagram, TikTok, and X. And if you want to find me on Gab, I'm at Gardner Goldsmith on Gab, and on X, I'm at Gard Goldsmith. Thanks for watching, everyone. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.